I am Moses Sitole. I'm doing the postgraduate certificate in education with Stadio. I'm in my first semester and I am training to be a teacher of mathematics in senior phase and in FET phase. My philosophy of teaching is a combination between being teacher centered and being learner centered. I believe that the teacher in every case must be able to give the basic concepts, which means the teacher himself must have the content. I believe in a teacher who has got all the content that will help to give the basic. He knows all or she knows all the basic concepts that are necessary. So after explaining the concepts to the learners can be able to pick up from there, doing problem solving. And obviously, at the beginning, the teacher will be there in a process, we call it scaffolding, where you are assisting them to move to the next stage of critical thinking, problem solving, looking at any problem that can be available. They must be able to tackle a problem, but they must have the basic concept. They must have the base of what is happening in that topic or concept. So, in every case, I also say, um, I chose this philosophy because of the need for the learner to be actively involved, to participate, and to construct knowledge, reconstruct knowledge. In fact, in every stage, at every stage, the learner must be involved. So I prefer a situation where in my class, learners are involved. They are part of the learning process. After explaining concepts, I go straight and give them some questions and say they must now move on from where I left. They must be able to think outside the box, but in any case, they are using what they have received as the basic concept. I usually give examples in class and say the doctor was never taught about COVID 19, but when it came, they tried to solve it. So that is the same situation where the learners they must move towards. That is, they must use the basics that they got and then move towards finding better solutions. In fact, my philosophy aligns very well with the CAPS document, with the learning system in South Africa, because this problem solving and critical thinking approach is needed everywhere. A classroom must resemble a natural environment. Peers must be able to communicate. The teacher must be approachable. Learners must be able to ask if they don't understand concepts. Learners must also ask from the teacher and from their peers, and they must be allowed to communicate, to participate at every stage. In fact, that gives us the importance of language. Thus, language is very important. They learn via the language in every way. The concept must be well explained. A learner might have understood it clearer, so they must be given the permission to explain to their peer. And usually, learners learn from each other. So the teacher is required at the beginning of a lesson, but throughout until the end of the lesson, it is the learner who is dominant. And maybe to give a conclusion, the teacher might give a conclusion right at the end. Yes, that is my philosophy. I'm taking it from Jerome Brunner. Jerome Brunner was talking about scaffolding, was talking about the spiral curriculum, where learners must learn something, and then that something must be reintroduced at a later stage, when it is a bit more challenging. But at every stage, the teacher is involved and the learners are involved. Everyone takes part. In fact, the learners themselves construct their own knowledge. They learn from each other, they learn from the teacher, they learn from the basics that have been displayed to them by the teacher.